Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Jadon Sancho was the last Manchester United forward to score at Old Trafford in the Premier League. What? Let that sink in for a second. Jadon Sancho was the last Manchester United forward to score at Old Trafford in the Premier League. He scored in the final game of last season versus Fulham, and I am here in disbelief. How is that possible? I cannot believe this. Even Zidane says, "Wahala, this is not true. Impossible." How is that possible? Anyway, we're going to talk about Jadon Sancho and his possible road to Juve, to Serie A. Who would have thought? And then we're also going to talk about Christian Eriksen and Rasmus Hojlund being the latest injury blows, injury setbacks at Manchester United. We have a crisis going on. My name is Botswanapapi. This is the Football Power Hour. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so. Bruno, Yeah, welcome. It's the Football Power Hour. I like to call this little section of, the show just like say what or what, because we're gonna have a moment where we just scroll through the news together and look at what's happening in the football world. But first things first, let's talk about Jadon Sancho and his move to Juve. Now, I can't believe this is what, mid-November. Hasn't even really settled yet. Like on November 13th, tomorrow 14th. And then, we've already started hearing rumors starting to drop, transfer rumors. And when I'm talking about rumors from tier one sources, like the big man, Mr. Here We Go, he's about to get busy again with the Here We Goes. And here is a Here We Might. And this Here We Might goes like this. Unquote. Understand Juventus asked for information on Jadon Sancho deal in recent days. He's set to leave Manchester United in January. Juve are interested, but only on loan plus part of salary covered by Manchester United Football Club. No negotiation yet, as Man United prefer to wait for permanent deal bids. Who thought it was going to end like this? There's a player that we spent 2 years chasing, spent almost 100 M's. All for it to just kind of crumble. All for it to just become another bad story, another one where we send another one on loan, pay part of his salary. Look at the Greenwood. That's like the latest one right before Sancho. It's either that's the way to exit Man United, or you do an interview with Piers Morgan, or you just do the Phil Jones. You know the Phil Jones? Don't do the Phil Jones and if you don't hit the like button, you are Phil Jones yourself. So make sure you take a second. Big up to Shay, big up to you saying big up. Mark Gazelle saying what up. Yo, Jadon Sancho is up, Mark. This is who we're talking about today. I'm just sort of baffled at this trajectory of this story. It's when you think about it, it all boils down to a tweet. A single tweet can change things. We are shambles, And this is how it's going to go. Is it actually like at the end, like, can he go? You know, the funny thing about Jadon Sancho is like, you know, this player has talent. We know, but with this talent, he comes with baggage, you know? Other people feel differently about him. Other people, it's like, we all know that in Dortmund and, you know, City days as well, he's got a dossier that has not so positive pages in there, you know? So Jadon Sancho has that, but everybody has that at the end of the day as a human, right? But the bags of talent that he possesses. It's funny because for me, if you ask me who are the most Ten Hag system players at Manchester United, Jadon Sancho is in the top 5 for me. I feel like he's one of our top pass and move, link up players, understands positioning, also has composure, has skill. And it's just a sad, sad ending, Jadon, that it has come to this, where we can't see your career revive and go and see it soar to what it really was meant to be, you know? So Jadon Sancho, it's a sad, sad day for me to start hearing rumors from the top tier Fabrizio Romano saying, here we might. Juve is probably your next flight. It's like, oh, Lord. Jeez, another one goes. And is he going to end up having one of those Pogba trajectories or what? I don't know. I don't, you know, it's one of those where I'm like, you know, that's the follow-up that I'm trying to get at is, can he cook in Serie A or not? Shout out to Omo in the building. So Omo says, great deal. Omo is crazy because you of all people have come to this position with Jadon Sancho, because Omo has appeared on this channel with a nickname, Jadon Sancho's dad. He's actually even played the happy hour on a Friday night. You know that the quiz game that we always play on Fridays? He's played it as Jadon Sancho's dad or Jadon Sancho FC. And look at where it's come to. Just like you, Luen. Luen in the building says, hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi amigo. Ahora, Luen, ¿hablas español también? Creo que no, porque you wrote mon amigo. That's French. you speak more French than Spanish, I'm guessing. But just like you, Luen, you are Marcus Rashford FC. Omo was Jadon Sancho FC. So it's just for me a big, big, big you know, it touches my heart to just see that shift. And it's like, goodbye, you know. We gave him some leeway, and we gave him you know, something that was unheard of for Man United players to be sent to the Netherlands for some time to go get his mind right, because there was something mentally, you know, with his mental health, and Ten Hag was so great with him. It was about 2.5 months maybe when he was gone. When he came back, we saw a little bit of that Sancho coming in the fold, but then he sort of just dwindled out down again. Another downfall that I remember was Jadon Sancho and was it Tyrell Malacia one time? We were playing a cup game and they were responsible. They were responsible for a loss, and I saw them lose their positions in the starting 11, and it was just such a, you know, it's disheartening to see a fall from grace like that when you know the potential that the player has. But Jadon Sancho, I think it's going to be over very soon. Yet, Miz, no, you don't say Miz. It's ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? M-I. Oh, M-I-S if you want to be plural, because you said mis amigos. Yeah, Luen says, I love and agree with Sancho. Actually, it's funny that you are here, Luen, because somebody that will remain nameless shared something with me about discipline that I want to share with you today. You know, and it was about, the context of it was obviously Eriktenhag and discipline and disciplinary methods and how to go about discipline. And, you know, I'll read a little bit of it. So It goes, you see, in life, discipline is good, but discipline must have a limit. Look at this. Let me begin by introducing you to the man called Walid Regragui. This is the Moroccan coach, right? The head coach for Morocco. He was appointed in 2002 after Morocco's AFCON campaign. And by December, he had taken Morocco to the World Cup semifinal, right? Beating, we all know the Morocco story. We were all, supporting it, and we know the teams that they beat. But with Walid, he had an issue with his star man, Hakim Ziyech, who was at that time playing for Chelsea. You remember him? What? Hakim Ziyech? So Ziyech announced his retirement from international football in February 2002 at 29, which is, oh my God, for a player to be retiring at 29. But, it's because Ziyech had an issue with the former coach. His name is Halil Zodic, something like that. And it seemed like one of those standoffs that is very similar to Jadon Sancho and Eriksen Hojlund right now, like stalemate, right? And what happened was that coach had accused Ziyech of faking an injury not to be part of some international friendly matches. We all know, Morocco would be playing I don't even want to say Botswana, but they'll be playing another below par African team. And then when you're Ziyech and you're thinking, man, I'm trying to play versus Arsenal after this international break, you might even go to the extent of faking an injury. That has been a rumor that has actually been there about a lot of African players that play in the Premier League that gauge, is this international break worth it? It's just sort of the same when England is playing Macedonia or something, or playing a team that they're gonna walk through, But anyway, so Ziyech had an issue with that coach, and that was why Ziyech was left out of the World Cup qualifiers campaign and AFCON. You remember there's something actually that when I'm talking African players, we should remember Osimhen, and also, his squabble with the Nigerian football governing body. And also we know, what's his name? Onana, our very own Onana, has also had problems with the coach for Cameroon, Rigobert Song. So anyway, so the Moroccan fans supported the coach, and everybody was behind the coach, right? And even the greatest of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, was told Manchester. Okay, no player is bigger than the club. Sorry. The thing that I'm reading from is trying to drive the point that no player is bigger than the club, or no player is bigger than the team, right? The former coach of Morocco fails to understand that discipline is for correction and not to kill. This is actually what this excerpt is trying to lead at. It's like, discipline is important, but it has to have a certain intention. It shouldn't just be dictatorship kind of discipline, It has to, when you're trying to rehabilitate someone, you also have to learn what are the best methods that they respond to. But we can say that Ten Hag has tried the soft approach. He's tried the go away, take a leave from work approach. He's tried, and then he went ahead and said what he said about Jadon Sancho. So it's one of those things that when you deep it, discipline has to always have its intentionality about it, because at the end of the day, discipline is there as a tool towards rehabilitating a certain type of behavior, or sort of like making sure you're deterring other people from falling into that pattern of behavior that's not acceptable, that's not building the team or building the club. You know what I mean? So anyway, moving on with that excerpt, it says, when you discipline someone, you find a way to draw that person back, especially if the person is very important to your project and your success. There is no trophy for discipline, but there's a trophy for winning, and winning needs the beat legs. So that's actually the biggest like thing to highlight. There's no trophy for discipline, but you need discipline to get to the trophies. So when we close the Moroccans story, right? Morocco were knocked out by Equatorial Guinea in 2019 AFCON, but they became the first African nation to play in a World Cup semi-final. And thanks to a great team effort, motivated by top stars like the once banished Ziyech, who have found new life, right? When Walid came in, and you saw how he worked well with Hakimi. And Ziyech is so funny because he was that right-hand side for Morocco was the attacking outlet. That's how they got through that game versus Spain, versus Belgium, versus Croatia even, I mean, in Portugal. Remember Portugal? That right-hand side for Morocco was lit in Qatar, and Ziyech was the heartbeat. Him and Hakimi. So, at the end of the day, that's what's happening right now. This is not like Morocco. This is Manchester United we're talking about. And Eriktenhag. In one way, you can also look at this and look at what happened at Arsenal with Aubameyang and Arteta, and you saw that the club chose to back the manager. And you look at our last player versus manager squabble, really, that standoff that was highly publicized, and we saw the training videos of Paul Pogba and Mourinho having a very unfriendly exchange in front of the cameras when everybody is showing up to work. Oh my goodness, that's when I knew it was peak. And now it's really unfortunate that Jadon Sancho has peaked and overpeaked. This beef has peaked and overpeaked, and it's now being stated or understood, that he will be gone in January. At the end of the day, you want Manchester United to be filling in that spot. For me, I do not like going to war with other teams understaffed. We're looking for answers on the right, and if you're not availing yourself because of an ego thing or something, then I just have to say, Jadon, it's time to pack the bags, Jadon. It's time to open up that spot for somebody else who will be available and who have talent as well. Big up to DJ Superfly, by the way. Luan was asking, did Jarvis share with you? No, I think somebody called Luan shared that with me, maybe. Mark says Sancho is a big baby. I read that as big baby boy. Sancho, which could be true, actually, which is true. Sancho is a big baby. He needs to grow up and be a man. Acts like a 5-year-old, just like Marcus Rashford.
Oh, my God.
That is Mark's opinion. He's like a 5-year-old. Real Malden says, bonjour, hermanos. Hermanos, oh, Lord. Today we're speaking Spanish and French at the same time. C'est quoi ça? All right. Frenglish. Eriktenhag is taking it too far, says Luan. Pogba is different. Mourinho was horrible. Ooh, Luan, like I want to know like how the Pogba Mourinho. Let's not open those files. Let's just wrap up the Sancho file and say it is just unfortunate that the file looks as bad as it looks right now. I'm just so sad about it, and I really wanted it to work out because that this guy was doing double digits goal and assists involvement in the Bundesliga. And now we have Erasmus Hojlund, and I was like, Lord, the chemistry that could happen between Sancho and Hojlund, we could really cook. If he could apologize, we could really take it to the next level. But Jadon does not want to do that. Jadon is not interested in that, and he's looking like he is headed to Juve. And I wish him well. I can only say, too bad it did not work out, but have a great career. If you move in January, you know, just a public apology. That's all we need, Jadon. And I'm sure Eriktenhag will have to soften his stance if you ever did that. But maybe also Eriktenhag is singing, it's too late to apologize. It's too late. Anyway, it's never too late to hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. You know, Luen is asking, will Eriktenhag apologize? Maybe, because they both took it to the, beef is not one-sided. Tension, when you create tension and somebody sends it back and then you send it back, and, they definitely are both responsible. But Eriktenhag doesn't have to go on one knee, if you get what I'm saying, because there's also like a power dynamic structure that needs to be preserved. That is why the club has now learned from the Pogba Mourinho spat and say, you know what, if we side with Sancho this time and do not back Eriktenhag, then what are we even here for? What are we learning? So in one way, in one facet, you can look at this situation and say, even if it's bad that it didn't work out with Sancho, it's okay. We'll move on and we'll back the manager. That is how we move from that topic. A topic that really made me feel like, oh Lord, Manchester United, we can catch a break, even on an international break. We're almost brought to the brink of breaking, if you get what I mean. Like, we are somehow cursed and unlucky. Those are two different events, but we have both happening at the same time, because Rasmus Hojlund and Christian Eriksen are now the latest members in the emergency room for Manchester United. They've withdrawn from the Danish national team, and now they are nursing an injury. Let's look at actually what Christian Eriksen has a knee injury currently being assessed. If we look at the rumor mill, it says Christian Eriksen is suffering from a knee injury that is expected to keep him out for around a month.
Oh my
God! While Hojlund is suffering from a strain, the clubs hope he will return before the end of November.
Oh shit! Oh my God!
Guys, what are we doing at Manchester United? There's a guy, if you're a Manchester United fan, first of all, if you're a top red, you have to know today, quick sidebar from the topic at hand. We were burying one of our main legends in our Manchester United history and folklore. His name will forever live on. Rest in peace, Sir Bobby Charlton. Forever a legend, forever one of us, forever inspiring us. What I like about that guy is that he was it's not the on-pitch stuff. It's what everybody says about him off the pitch. If you just listen to the tributes, people just sharing the thoughts about just like, or the encounters with him. For me, it's that. That's the legacy. Leave a legacy where people feel you in their hearts. And I really respect that. So Bobby Charlton, I never saw you play. I was too young, but big up to you, big up to what you represent. And may your soul rest in peace. Back to our injury crisis. I was trying to get to this. If you're a Manchester United supporter, you also have to know that there's a guy called Gary O'Driscoll, who was appointed head of sports medicine at Manchester United. We have to address our concerns to Gary O'Driscoll now, because I can't be mad at Ten Hag, because Ten Hag doesn't really he's not the one assessing the players and saying, are you ready to play? Gary And his subordinates, by the way, Gary is new to this job, by the way. He joined us, I believe, last month or the month before that. And he oversees all medical activity across our women's and men's and academy teams. And he joined Manchester United from the same role that he had at where? Arsenal.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Where he served for the past 14 years, overseeing more than 600 games with our Premier League rivals. Does that bother you guys? Or is it because like it's like medical stuff? It's like whatever, he will never sabotage us. The 14 years he had at Arsenal don't count. I don't know. I'm just curious. This whole backroom stuff, switching from one club to the other. It's always a little. Sometimes I'm like, But anyway, we're gonna leave the conspiracy theories to the side and say the sports medicine department at Carrington is responsible for providing medical services, physical therapy, and rehabilitation for players, spanning from the men and women's team to the full range of age groups in our boys and girls academies. Now, are these guys doing that job? The sports medicine department. Guys, how come we have so many injuries? Like it is a little, in a normal season of 38 games, in my opinion, everybody has a different take on this. And I'm curious what you feel, by the way, because here's the thing. Injuries are part of the package, part of the process, part of the playing, right? And training. You will sustain injuries in a season. But there's a number when that is a little bit abnormal. And right now, Manchester United is on the abnormal side of injuries. And I'm just concerned that there's somebody out there who faked that resume or CV or something. There is somebody out there who is not doing that job. That's the bottom line. There's somebody out there who's not doing that job to the utmost, to the way that like it's supposed to be done. How come we have 10 injuries almost all season so far? We've always had a minimum of about 10 players missing. That does not make sense. Let's look around to other clubs. All right, Bournemouth, 7. For me, my number is if you have 10 players in a squad that you registered, right? And obviously that number is relative to the size of the squad, and every club has a different squad size. But I think the number of 10 to 12, you're definitely in injury crisis zone, especially if in those 10 players you have more than 5 starters, 5 people that you consider your starting 11. So Bournemouth has 7 injuries. Aston Villa, 4 injuries. Brentford, 7 injuries. Seems like 7 is an average. Chelsea right now, 7 injuries. Luton Town at this very moment, 7 injuries. Sheffield, 9. Ooh. And then there's other clubs that are just coasting. West Ham, at this very moment, West Ham United can boast that they have, wait, is this true? They have 0? Hold on. This I have to double check. West Ham right now have 0 long-term injuries. This is the team that's enjoying, the team that has the best. In my opinion, I'm like, you guys, your medical department knows what they're doing. West Ham has 0. Okay, Wolves has 3. Nottingham Forest has 4. Manchester City has 4. In the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Nathan Ake, Gomez, and John Stones. Liverpool have 8. They are on the average, No, man. Man United is on another level, and it's always, right now we're down to 10, but it's been 12, and now we can never bring that level down to at least 4, 5 injuries. We need to have a manageable number. But then there's other players, obviously Jadon Sancho he has an injured ego. As Mark said, that's the sound of Jadon Sancho. But let's go to we did talk about Hojlund and his thigh strain or hamstring injury, and we hope he comes back, and it looks like he might come back sooner. But the other Manchester United players, right? Carlos Casemiro has got a thigh injury, and potential return date, it's looking like 2024. It's looking like the middle of January 2024, right? Remember, like the manager, this is what the manager said about him. I have some time schedules, but it's always difficult to predict that because there can be setbacks during a rehab period. Casemiro and Martinez are really strong injuries. I don't expect them back anytime before Christmas. Those were Ten Hag's words about the injuries. Kind of us now, we're having mad injuries, says R10. Yo. Luel is done with that. It's like Sancho and Ten Hag shouldn't apologize. But the injuries, let's stay on the injuries. The injuries is the thing that I am just really worried that it doesn't seem like we're improving. And this guy, Mr. O'Driscoll, you better do your job. You better make sure that the boys come back. I don't want to see this thing just going up and up and up. When we look at how other teams are doing, like Manchester City does not seem to be always like, in a big crisis like this. Amad Diallo he had a knee injury, but I think he's also nearing a return. There is no listed return date as of this very moment. Luke Shaw, we mentioned it's going to be around the end of November. Tyrell Malacia, also around the end of November. Hold on. Why did they say? They say Aaron Wan-Bissaka has a fever. Okay. But that, I guess he'll be back. The fever won't last the whole international break. Johnny Evans, he's gone until at least the end of November, beginning of December. If I walked into that sports medicine department building, I'll be like, you get out of here, man. We need some people who are competent and can do that job. Anyway, big up to Box as well, saying, why was Martinez allowed to play at the start of the season, playing with injections? Box. What was that all about? His bone hadn't healed fully. Arjen says it's like blaming your doctor for getting a cold. Let's look at the types of injuries. Players are also responsible for taking care of their health. But that's the thing, Arjen. It's like they have to get a clearance. It's not like they're like, I feel good. No. My ankle, trust me, you don't have to look at it. I feel good. They actually, have to go. There's got to be a protocol, and a proper, thorough, clearance of how you deal with somebody coming back from injury and making sure that injury is not exacerbated by them coming in. Like I like what's happening with Kobbie Mainoo. We've seen him play now 2 or 3, under 19 games, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Kobbie Mainoo just like slowly. Let's reintegrate him back and not overburn the kid, Big up to Munch in the building. Big up to y'all as well. Yo, by the way, this is an impromptu thing. Big up to you for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. As I'm saying, we need to figure out. Boxer says gone till November. Wow, we need to figure out why we singing gone till November. Somebody in the building has to leave. so that we don't have to sing this Go Until November song. Box is asking, does Pep's have some special sweets to prevent injuries? Does Pep Guardiola have something special in him? Some special treats that he's giving? The Eriksen one got me in another way because we were just starting to get a midfield trio that was clicking, and Eriktenhag praised it 2 games ago. The McTominay, Bruno, and Eriksen midfield was starting to be the preferred triangle. And with me, I have a qualm with Eriksen, you know. He's a player, you know, who scored so many free kicks. I think about 15 goals he scored from a direct free kick for his clubs, previous clubs. And for Manchester United, I'm like, Christian Eriksen. Someone early on said, you were a set piece taker, but right now you're not looking like a set piece taker. You know, you're looking like somebody who just want to just like, he doesn't, you know, he looked good prior to Qatar. And then in my opinion, he got really, really severe depression from getting knocked out in Qatar with Denmark. Because when he came back, he was not the same guy. He was not up to speed. And then just the moment, maybe it took him maybe 5 weeks or so to get back up to speed. And when he kind of caught up speed, then was it Andy Carroll? Somebody injured him horribly with a sliding tackle. And then that took him out again. And now we've never seen that Eriksen, really, that pre-Qatar Eriksen, until maybe the last game we saw spurts of it. In the previous game we saw snippets of it. The games prior to that, we saw him coming in as an impact sub and actually showing the quality that he has in distribution and dictating, areas of where to spray the ball, and that was good. We're like, okay, keep it coming. But then Christian Eriksen, he's out here injured again, and I'm gonna have to wait for that Christian Eriksen free kick in a Manchester United shirt. Come on, Christian Eriksen. Why do we have to do this way? Come on, can somebody please
make it make sense, blood?
Anyway, why? Manji's silly for that. Pep has his best player missing. Yes. We cannot run away from that. And actually, versus the Chelsea game, that was the first time, y'all. I was like, hey, Manchester City misses Kevin De Bruyne. That was the very, very first time I saw Man City play, and I was like, oh, where's Kevin? And somebody said, I think he's looking at a Saudi Arabia contract.
Oh my God!
It's looking like Kevin De Bruyne's might be headed to Saudi soon. And I hope it's very soon. But Pep Guardiola is just so brilliant at maintaining his teams that I'm thinking this guy, he's already started phasing Kevin De Bruyne out of the team. We're seeing Phil Foden learn his trade, Julian Alvarez also learn his trade, and they seem to have split the responsibility to the Kevin De Bruyne weight. They've seemed to kind of just been like, all right, you be the other half, I'll be the other half. And, Pep Guardiola does not have a problem progressing the ball into the final third, because all you have to do as a defender is get that ball to Phil Foden. The boy has a turn. The boy has a way he traps the ball, and that Phil Foden, he's like, give me that ball. I'm already looking at where I'm progressing attacking-wise, because he knows how to trap the ball. No matter what kind of intensity you give him the ball in, he just knows. He has a way of just kind of, making sure that he receives it and then feeds it to the next attacker, or or he goes for the shot. We remember in the Champions League, after Kevin De Bruyne came out, you remember Kevin De Bruyne's hamstring injury? That was actually a very symbolic game for me, because I was like, we've overused Kevin now. What's Pep Guardiola going to do? And then he's like, Phil Foden, come in. And what does Phil Foden do? He receives the ball in the half space, turns like he means it, and he goes for that goal. But then he doesn't score because Andre Onana was there. And Andre Onana said, oh, nah, not today, Phil. But that was just a snippet of what's going to come later. And for me, I like the fact that, I like to admire the process of how Pep Guardiola is doing this Kevin De Bruyne phasing out, if you get what I'm saying, So let me see what KDB. Kevin De Bruyne will get sovereign in Saudi. You're so right, Box. You are so right, Kevin. I never thought about that. He gonna need buckets of sunscreen, and then even if he's still playing, he's gonna sweat it out, right? And then we gonna see beige, brown skin Kevin De Bruyne in a few months, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin De Bruyne is still quality, says Munch. Yo, big question right here. Yal says, wait, Eriksen heart problems happened in the Euros, not in the World Cup. Yes. That is true. That was in the Euros. And they all gathered around him, and we thought he was never going to come back to play football again. And I was surprised, but I'm so, Yal, no. The heart problems would not affect his defensive work rate. You nearly gave me some conspiracy theory material, but no. I'm not gonna try that one. R10 was talking about this. He says, no worries. The secret weapons will return soon. Maino, Martinez, Shaw, Ahmad, Aaron Bissaka. Bro, I hope so. Mark says, get rid of weak mentality players, but only sale. No loans. Who's really going to buy Sancho? I know that statement, the ending of it from Fabrizio is like, yeah, but Man United is going to wait for permanent bids. Nobody's going to do the permanent bid. Come on now. No. The only club that could possibly, in my opinion, obviously I stand to be corrected, but the only club that could possibly legitimately want to buy Jadon Sancho, like buy him from us, might be PSG. And that's if Luis Enrique fences him. But I doubt that. I feel like Dembele owns that spot, and even though they're not happy with Dembele right now, they might look at other places. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Sell Sancho and Rashford, says Mark. Strong opinion there. Both of them? I don't think Rashford is going anywhere, mate. I wish we had prime Eriksen or Spurs. Yeah. That's the same package that I thought we ordered, Box. That's the same package. And guess what? The Eriksen that we got can't score a free kick, can't deliver a corner to Maguire's forehead properly. Like, it's always not really quite. It's just annoying. It's just annoying because this is a set piece maestro. That's why I'm on Christian Eriksen's case like this. He was a set piece maestro before coming to Man United. I'm not gonna forget though that he did have like some long free kicks, some assists from long free kicks from Man United. Those ones I've seen, but I'm talking about this one right here. Christian Eriksen right here. That kind of Eriksen. He can score those. Do you remember? Yo, if you watch the Serie A, okay? If you watch the Serie A, there was this game. I think it was after Lukaku got a penalty. It was the 97th minute free kick that secured qualification for the Nerazzurri. It was like a Christian Eriksen free kick. And the funny thing about that, it was Antonio Conte at that moment. He would bring him in and you'd see Christian Eriksen's impact in the game, but then you're like, why is he not starting? Why is he not starting? But I think Antonio Conte knew that this guy cannot handle a 90-minute workload in the Serie A, but you need to use him as an impact sub. And it was just a brilliant use of Christian Eriksen post Spurs. So when he comes to United and ends up kicking the ball around a lot and gets too tired, maybe he loses that sharpness that he would have on a dead ball situation. Just a theory, just a question. I don't know. Sell Mason Mount and Bruno. Mason Mount ain't going anywhere. Mason Mount is our homeboy. He got the 7 shirt. We're gonna work with Mason Mount. I did not want that signing, but I'm just facing reality, just telling you what I feel like is the reality with Mason Mount. Unfortunately, he's going to be one of those players that's going to sit down and wait to get his chance. And when he gets his chance, hopefully the long-range goals that he can score can come. Because Mason Mount, you cannot pull a Christian Eriksen on us and have a trait, a quality that we've always seen on the pitch in other moments, in other games for your previous club, and then you don't show that at Man United? Come on, Mason.
Someone early on said,
trust number 7. I'm like, I got questions about this number 7. Anyway, Luen was asking, 1, he's a lot older. That injury hampered him a lot. His heart problems must weigh heavily on him. Remember, he came back from his heart issues with eriktenhag. He's loyal. Let us not be too harsh on Christian Eriksen, is what Luen is saying. The biggest point that I agree with from what you said, Luen, is the first one. The man is growing. The man actually, when you look at him, he look like, if he doesn't shave, he looked like when you watch The Lion King and you see what's his name, when Simba is like now becoming the man. Yeah, that's what's happening to Christian Eriksen, and he now look like a big Simba. We may need to let go and spend in January, says R10. We may need to let go and spend. Man, if we can get a center back, if we can get another striker, man, another forward to obviously replace Jadon Sancho, then I might be like, okay, that's money, all right. That's money, all right, spent, and then hopefully our midfield, we can figure out the balance over there because it's still unbalanced, Moving on, Mount will get good, says Luen. Mount says Mount stinks. That's the thing. He's so polarizing right now. He's so polarizing, and he needs to make sure that when he gets his chance, just like in his cameo in the last game versus Luton, he actually, he did all right. He gave the manager something to think about. Simba. So Man says, I've seen enough evidence of how bad he is from Chelsea days. Chelsea fans celebrating him leaving tells you everything you need to know. Munch. Even though he gave that assist in the Champions League final to Kai Havertz, you're gonna really write him off like that? Let's give Mount just the full season. You know how every player needs some time, not every player, but most players need some time to adjust. I feel like Mason Mount might be just one of those players, and also the team needs to adjust to him, So Money Mace, please, he deserves a little bit of slack. Come on, man. Come on. Be nice on the kid. Buck says same thing happened with Juan. Oh, they grew older and they weren't the same.
Oh my God!
With Mata, we got him after he was like Chelsea Player of the Year, and he was looking good, And then we just park him on the bench, and then use him on the right when we want to play a pacey winger on the right, and the football that we're playing is not suiting Juan Mata type of football. It feels like, oh my goodness, the similarities between Juan Mata and Jadon Sancho now when I look at it. Hey.
Oh my God.
Let's not go there. Mount is a player we never asked for. That's why, says R10. But the club asked for him. But the manager asked for him. He was a priority signing. We cannot run away from that. Corner says, bro, breaking news. There's a new... Oh, Lord.
It was at this moment that he knew.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Corner, no. Oh, Lord. Okay, you're going to segue us into the part of the show where we're going to look at the news. We're not definitely going to look at No Horse video. Gosh, come on. How are you going to drop that in here? Manchester's bots have scored the same amount of goals as Mark this year.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
No. he's definitely in that list, right? Come on, Mason Mount. He can do it though. I believe. I'm not gonna write him off just yet, guys. I know that the way he whips the ball is a little. It's what is. He has a way of striking the ball that is unique to him. He has some level of creativity. He has, the extra lung, the work rate, the willingness to learn too. You can't say he's not showing that, so we have to just look at those traits as well and make our assessment based on that and be like, all right, with all those things into play, can your talent actually show, Hopefully he doesn't get injured again, because that's pretty much what stinted his integration into the team. I remember Ten Hag talking about that. So I'm looking at you, Mr. Gary O'Driscoll. By the way, something that I want to share with you guys again about Gary O'Driscoll is that the person that he was replacing, the person that Gary O'Driscoll was replacing at Manchester United, guys, you will laugh to hear this. You might laugh, actually, when you hear this. O'Driscoll, he spent years at Arsenal, right? And then now he's the head of sports medicine at Man United right now, right? And the person that he was replacing after his 14-year stint, right, at the Gunners, is somebody called Steve McNally, who was the head of our sports medicine at Man United after he was there for 16 years.
Oh my God.
And now he has gone to become the performance sports director at the PGMOL.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Now, is the PGMOL a successful body? Is it a successful organization? If you ask me, I'll tell you that nah. Steve McNally went with his like negative vibes and took him to the PGMOL, and now it's affecting the referees. They can't make proper VAR decisions. We've seen the most subjective VAR horrors this season, more than any other time, to the point where I was like pro VAR at the beginning, but now I'm like, man, you guys are just trying to mess up the game now. You guys are just trying to mess up the game. So anyway, Steve McNally is now, who was at our head of sports medicine before Gary O'Driscoll. He is now over there overseeing the, PGMOL referees, and he's the performance sport director. Big up to him for leaving. So thank you for your services, but no thank you, sir, because it's been terrible at Man United. Anyway, Elanga in the building, joining us on Twitch. Says mancity are cheaters. Couldn't agree with you more there. Couldn't agree with you there more. Mount will be good. We already addressed that. And then also, Luan says, remember he played for Chelsea, but was a United supporter. His whole family was. Okay. Mount will get great. Luan, we're gonna give you your flowers when this moment happens. When he turns the corner, and I believe the stepping stone was a little bit. Let's make Mount great again.
Get out of here, man.
R10 with his let's make Mount a grand caps. You know, he's going and they're gonna be red too, because Manchester United is red. I'll tell you, silly for that. Big up to Matty for joining us. Matty, shout out to you. Where are you, Matty, with Mason Mount? Luan strongly believes that Mount will get great, not just get good, get great. In caps lock, by the way. You see the belief? Elanga is just concerned about Manchester City being cheaters. When are those charges going to hit, by the way? We've been waiting for some. There's no news about the charges or relegation or them getting stripped off the accolades, and trophies. When is that going to happen? Because I'm waiting. And man, the day Manchester City, when we hear from the news outlets, we're gonna be there.
We will be there. We will be there.
Elanga says they're only gonna get 1 point deduction. No, Elanga.
Get out of here, man.
I can't accept that. DJ Superfly says never. They paid them off. Fox says Pep's Barca bribed refs, I heard, and now it's hush. It's like we're not talking about it anymore. Why? Stephanie says, big up Puppy and the power chat. Big up to you, Steph. Where are the charges? Somebody, please bring up the charges again. So why is the court proceedings taking so long, Matty? Man City needs to face their charges so they can be destabilized. 150 points deduction is what they should get. Thank you. I like it. I like that. That's actually, then they just, like, if they want to stay in the Premier League, they are working at minus 115 and they have to just keep, so they need actually, Matty, that's not a really big punishment, That's just like betting them for one season. When you deep it, you're asking Man City to do the Centurion, win by 100 points, and then they just have 15 points, and then nah. Big shout out to you, by the way, if you're just joining in. Don't forget. Stephanie says we are at 10 likes. Connor says, are you in KG Discord board? Bots, you can. Oh, yeah. I should join that. I think I joined, but I actually am I on? I gotta double check. I remember being like, I want to join the Discord, but then I can't remember if I actually followed through with it or not. I might have been a Jadon Sancho about it. Who knows? I will double check. DJ Superfly says that and a 50. Man, they bought the judges, says Luan. This is just depressing. If that is true. They need to be severely punished. They need to face you. You can get 114 points max, right? I see. So they need to just face a season away and then also give away like a bunch of their trophies. That's what I'd be happy with. That's what I'd be like, go down and be like, okay, send them to the championship. Let them play versus Derby County and all Middlesbrough, all them teams. Let them do that, and then maybe next season they also need to sell like half that squad or something, and a big hefty fine, so they don't even do transfers for 2 more seasons. You know what I mean? Or 2 more transfer windows. It's a good thing I'm not in that comedy. Oh Lord. I think they should have Pep's beer, and says Alanga. Mary says they will end up on a -1 even if they win all of the games. That's some spiteful discipline, you know. And we started the stream talking about discipline with a limit. Guys. Y'all are crazy. Anyway, Arsenal will get a trophy. Oh, no. Arsenal are going to capitulate, brother. I believe Arsenal are not going to be fighting for the title as much as like people think, you know. It'll also depend on how they do in the January transfer window, which is a very good segue into a great question that Manj asked earlier on. Where do you think United will finish in the Premier League this season? So it's funny you asked that because I woke up today feeling very positive after watching the Don KG saying, you know, we're gonna do top 4. He presented his case, you know, and I listened to it. I was like, this guy is talking something, you know. But this was prior to the Christian Eriksen news coming out, because that happened like 2 hours later after the reckless breakfast. And then we hear Christian Eriksen is out, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
we are in deep trouble now. We are really, 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 really in the mud now. I do not think with Christian Eriksen missing, we're going to try and it's, you know, Percy always makes fun of me for saying this comment of like, oh, our season starts now. Our season starts now. When is our season going to start? Because we don't have the players. Where are the players? You know, it's like, bro, every time we're trying to just get it together, something falls apart. You know, we can never get the band together, so we don't really know the tune that we can play when the whole band is in there. And right now, I was thinking that KG was onto something with the top 4, but I strongly believe at this moment, Manchester United.
So we don't have the capacity
to make it. We're going to be 5th. And I thought a crackhead prediction at the beginning of the season was 3rd or something like that, or 2nd. I don't know. I was definitely not anticipating the injury crisis that we had, and I was expecting us to continue from a very, very, very lively season that we had last season. You know, of course, the ending of it, we were just squeaky bum, just trying to make it through, because we had already a center-back crisis from last season when Victor Lindelof started becoming a regular. So that's why, for me, I'm going to say 5th. Especially because of Christian Eriksen missing. But we need to do the right reinvestments in January, and then that prediction can be updated. United top 4 and round of 16. That's Mark's prediction. Mate, if we get 4th, I'll be so happy. Round of 16. When we meet inform Harry Kane. Hopefully we don't meet them in the knockout stages, because actually, yeah, we're from the same group. We'll probably meet like the other, like maybe like a group F type of team. Like we might meet you know, Dortmund or AC Milan, depending on who makes it out of there. So anyway, we'll be there, whatever the case, because we are Man United supporters through and through, whether they win, whether they lose. And at the end of the day, we want, if we get a little bit of experience in round of 16, that experience becomes invaluable when you get to the you know, like Champions League again next season. Then your players have a little bit of experience, and you need that for this team. You know, the Garnachos needed to experience a little Champions League heartbreak. So we got to make it out the group stages by any means. Come on, United. Stephanie says, make Super Frank Lampard City manager for the next 10 years. Stephanie, nah. But there is a possibility. If Chelsea really don't build off of the momentum from this Man City 4-4, they have a very big opportunity to build on that and actually become a team that can also be competing for that top 5 position. But they could also capitulate, you know. And we might see Super Frank back in the building, back in the dugout. And when Frank comes, oh man, we he's gonna give us another punchline. What was his punchline last season? The boys gave everything. No, that was Graham Potter. The boys gave everything was Graham Potter. Jeez, I'm forgetting Frank's punchline because I know he'll be back with another one. Anyway, Mark says, get your bets in United to beat Galatasaray 4-1. Come on. I like the confidence. If at all that happens, that will be amazing. Matty believes that first, of course, Matty.
Someone early on said, trust the process. My thought was, what's the process?
How are we going to be first? Matty, get out of here, Matty. First, nah. Boxers were coming for that. We're coming for that 17th, 18th title. Fellaini, McTominay, Damian, Lingard, Rojo, Baye, and Alexis Sanchez want the medals. Strip them. Strip these cheats, Manchester City, and give us, to think that also Oli. Oh, Oli deserves his flowers. Spurs and Newcastle are in bigger criticism with injuries. Spurs and Newcastle are in criticism with injuries. What do you mean bigger criticism? We just looked at how the injuries are looking, and we are one of the teams with the biggest. Like, actually, no, Spurs do have over 10. They are also in crisis mode. They are also in crisis mode as well. Yes, they lost they're actually the key paramount players, the Madisons and the Van de Vens and and Romero is suspended. Yeah, they're really in the mud. They're really in the mud. Newcastle are obviously missing the Isaks and so forth. You're right, Matty. They have the medical departments have some answering to do in those clubs as well, but they actually don't seem to be recurring as much as at Manchester United. Anyway, if we are in the current position or better by Christmas, then top 4 will be doable, playing 1 game a week. Our 10, that means we have to not make it out the group stages. We just have to forget European football and just play. That could be a blessing in disguise. I see the way you're looking at it. I see the way you're peeping the situation. We'll beat the Turkish farmers, Galatasaray. You think we're also going to win 4-1 like Mark said, Bucks? We will be there. We will be there for that. I saw that KG stream on Kenny Fan TV, and a wave of positivity flooded my whole body too. You guys don't rate Eriksen, so how does him being out affect the season, says Luan. I rate Eriksen. The whole reason why I spent some time on this on Eriksen was because I was starting to see the Eriksen from last season, the pre-Qatar Eriksen from last season, starting to become sharp and sharper. That's why I was and eriktenhag praised the midfield twice in 2 press conferences. He praised that midfield and said, finally, we're starting to build a little chemistry. So that's why it just makes me so sad that he's been hampered by that. It's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. So will it be Hannibal? Will it be Mount to get in there, that position? Will it be Amrabat? I don't know how Ten Hag has got an imbalanced midfield that he needs to move some pieces around and figure out how to deal with the void of Christian Eriksen. Stephanie says, can United go all season without drawing a game? 25 wins, 13 losses, is 75 points, top 4 trophy. Or 13 wins, 25 losses, 39. Stephanie,
Get out of here, man.
why are you gonna go all the way to mathematically? No. I do not like this. I liked your first projection. What we can put in, we haven't every season. Man United goes on, double-digit games where we do not lose. When we rake up points, whether it be a draw or a win, we gotta rake up points. So I'm just waiting, and I think our season starts. after this international break. Matty corrected themselves saying first 1 year. I mean, okay, 1 year, hopefully 1 year. Box says 19 wins, 19 losses equals to 57 points. Stephanie, all this time you made us feel like the math was mething, but it was not. Thank you, Box, for you know I'm horrible at mathematics, so I would not have caught that. We need super sub. Eriksen is the best impact substitute that we have, says Mark. 100% agreed. I think, Mark, you're right. You're right. Eriksen out may affect some of the matchups we're involved in. Yeah, it's one of those things where we have to reconfigure. That's the main thing. It's like all the progress that we were making is now sort of like 2 steps back, and that's been the theme this whole season. Why Gary O'Driscoll? Why this medical department, man? They need to post. Well, remember how people were asking for Donald Trump's taxes, or how they asked for Obama's certificate? They're like, man, put that thing up on the gram. I want to see all your medical certificates and credentials, all the medical department at Man United, because some people in here may have got a job, through the back door. It's just a conspiracy theory. I wonder how we approach the Enfield game coming up. We seem to crumble there lately. Mate, if we can just start to build something. The good thing is the Everton game, we go to Goodison Park, right? Which is a very tough place to get a result, and especially looking at the form that Everton has been in. Guys, Everton drew with Brighton 1-1. Everton beat Crystal Palace 3-2. Everton beat Burnley 3-0. Everton beat West Ham 1-0 this season. All right? And you could argue that the reason why they lost to Liverpool was because Ashley Young got a red card right before halftime. Actually, maybe not right before. There was at least like about 10 minutes or so before halftime. So for sure that Everton are not I was going to say they're not a Luton Town. It's not a good example to use, but they are a very, very strong team. They're a very strong team, and we are going to Goodison Park. So before we can even worry about Emirates and blah 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 blah, I think the first hurdle is Everton, and then St. James's Park. So Mark went with a bold prediction saying Man United 3, Everton 1. Box says park the bus. Box also says, I wonder. Oh, that's the comment that we just read. Maddie says maybe Eriksen's injury is a chance for Maino. Right? Another man's loss is another man's gain. Kobe Maino, the stage is set for you, brother. The stage is set for you, Kobe. I really hope Kobe Maino can take his opportunity right now. Let's really quickly close this by saying it was we've already paid our respects to Sir Bobby Charlton, but I was also just very happy to see the pictures of the big figures that showed up to Sir Bobby Charlton's funeral. There was the likes of Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, Ollie was in there. Obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson was in there. And there was current players like Maguire, Luke Shaw, Johnny Evans, and Tom Heaton in there too. But the notable absence of eriktenhag, I was like, hold on, what's going on? And then it turns out he had a, long-standing personal commitment that he couldn't get out of that was made earlier, like way earlier, but he sent his regrets and so forth. And another thing that also struck me also on the news real quick was to see other non-United former players Gary Lineker over there, Ian Callaghan there as well. Yeah, Mark Noble as well. You know, there was like a lot of representation, which is how you know that we have lost a big top red. So may he rest in peace. May you please be as nice to people as like Sir Bobby Charlton was. You know, no Glazers and no Redcliffe, but they are emotionally attached fans. True. Yeah, there was the notable absence of the Glazers. You can fully say that the Glazers don't really care at all. Like somebody who's contributed so much to the club you own. You really? Out of like you definitely you know that they have a thick skin. They don't care about a banner that says Glazers out. These guys would rather like not show up to somebody who's been a servant to their club and contributed to getting it to the legacy that they bought it when Malcolm Glazer bought it. Ungrateful, disgraceful cheats. 12 likes in the building. If you're watching, we have 14 people right now at this very moment. 2 disgraceful cheats in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. My name is Botswanapapi. I thank you so much for joining me on this stream and just reacting to what's happened today. Let's hope that Eriksen and Hojlund come back sooner than later because I need them to cook. I was starting to admire the Danish
Combination.
Oh, we need it back ASAP. Kobe Maino, Ahmad, where the hell are you? Come back as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me today. It's been a really fun stream. I am getting the hell out of here. Boom. Already done. Hitting the like, says DJ Superfly. Man, you too great. You too great. Also, y'all, I saw you asked a very good question, and it was about Ahmad. Let me just highlight it real quick. I really loved that question, by the way. But anyway, the good thing is it sparked the Maino coming back conversation as well. So I'm sorry I didn't get to it, but shout out to you. Ahmad is leaving alone, says Mark. What?
Get out of here, man.
Mark, what are you talking about? No, man. Ahmad leaving alone? We need to see. I need to see my African brother first and see what he can cook, man. We need to give him a chance. If he leaves, I'll be so mad.
Make it make sense, blood.
Bruno Fernandes! It's Martial! Just waiting on the back post, surely he'll be found! And scores first! Premier League goal at Old Trafford!
Stop spreading false rumors.